This project could become an official LEGO set. But you're probably wondering how, so let me explain. I'm a LEGO fan designer, and I posted this build on LEGO Ideas. But if you don't know what that is, then let me show you. LEGO Ideas is a platform where people from all over the world can post their builds. And if it gets 10,000 supporters, it will be kept in a list with all the other builds that had 10,000 supporters within a certain time limit, which is in my example, is from early September 2024 to 6th of January 2025. After that, the LEGO Ideas team will select 2 or 3 of these projects to redesign and produce them. This means that as long as you have a LEGO account, all you have to do is click the support button to help make this build a real set. Speaking of my build, let's see how many supporters I currently have. So here is the LEGO Idea page, and as you can see, my project currently has 3,283 supporters. So, if I do a little calculation, we are just missing... Yeah, we're not there yet. So please click the link in the description or scan this QR code to contribute to this project by supporting it. Now that I've finished telling you about the platform, let's talk about my project, which you can see right here. Starting from the front, then the side, and finally the back. And even if the beauty of this model is important, the most important part of my model is the playability with all the functions that I added to it. Starting with the minifigure, because we all know that one of the most important things in the Polar Express movie is the character. So, I made 12 of them if you consider the caribou and the Ebenezer Scrooge puppet as minifigures. Let's go through each minifigure one by one, starting with the hero boy who is the protagonist, but who has no name with his iconic bell. And this is what he looked like in the movie if you wanted a comparison. Next, we have the hero girl who also has no name, with this famous ticket that she lost. And if you don't remember well, it was the moment when the hero boy tried to give him back his ticket, but had dropped it, which caused a lot of twists and turns. Also, if you want to compare his minifigure version and his version in the movie, here is the minifigure version, and here is her in the movie. Then, here is Billy the lonely boy with his iconic Christmas present that our protagonist had trouble getting with the famous present slide sequence. And for the comparison, here is the minifigure version, and here is the movie version. Next, we have the know-it-all kid without an object this time, because I don't think there was an iconic object for him. And for comparison, here is an image of the minifigure in the scene where he explains all the specificities of the train to the hero boy. And here is the movie version in the same scene. Now that we've finished with the children, let's start talking about the adults, starting with the hobo with his iconic bundle. Also, if you want to compare his minifigure version and his version in the movie, here is the minifigure version, and here is the movie version. Next, we have the conductor with his iconic lantern, which you can see here in the film, and here is a close-up image for comparison. Next, we have Smokey and Steamer, which are the two drivers of the train. This is Smokey and this is Steamer in the movie. And according to the wiki, they are twin brothers. I guess. Anyway, let's move on to the waiter and the pastry chef, which are only present in the hot chocolate scene, with the waiter serving hot chocolate to the hero girl and the pastry chef using the hot chocolate machine, of which I have a close-up image here. And if you want to make a comparison with the movie, here is a segment of the hot chocolate scene, where we can see waiters and pastry chefs. Next, we have the Ebenezer Scrooge puppet, who is the puppet in the abandoned toy car controlled by the hobo. And he said to the hero boy, which was its only use in the film, but I still put it because it is still striking. And finally, here is a caribou, which is another less important character, which comes from the scene where the train had to stop because of a herd of caribou. And this is what the scene looked like in the movie. And that concludes the minifigures review. Next, we have the fact that you can remake a lot of scenes from the movie, starting with the first scene where the conductor invites the hero boy to the North Pole. Then there's the scene where the know-it-all kid tells all the specifics of the train like a real train nerd. And then there's the scene where the train stops for Billy because of the hero boy that activated the emergency brake. Next, you could remake the hero girl ticket's adventure with a human-sized or minifigure-sized ticket that contained the set. Afterwards, you can redo the scene of the meeting with the hobo on the roof of the observation car by removing the detachable flat part of the roof to replace it with the campfire. And this is what the scene looked like in the movie. Right after this scene, there is the scene where the hobo and the hero boy are skiing on top of the train to get to the locomotive. Then there is the scene where the train stops because of the caribou that I had already explained previously. And there's this scene where the hero boy, the hero girl, and the conductor are on the frozen lake on top of the locomotive, and then the conductor opens this trap to talk to Smokey and Steamer. Next, we have the Ebenezer Scrooge puppet scene where the hobo controls him from the top of the train. So I made this removable trap to access it, just like the movie. Now the train finally arrives at the North Pole via this bridge, which is obviously not included in the model, but it's always fun to put it in this scene. For the last scene, you can redo the moment when the observation car detaches from the rest of the train and rolls down the hills of the North Pole, and then the hero boy activates the external brake of the car to stop it. And the reason why I tell you this is because the brakes can turn like the one in the movie with this Technic pin. For the last point, let's talk about the interior of the train accessible by removing the roof and the right wall of the locomotive and the 3 cars, so that you can remake a bunch of scenes that I told you about previously. Don't forget that this project could become an official LEGO set, so don't forget to check the link in the description or scan this QR code to be a part of this magnificent project. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe.